Well, I also stand on the existing protocol. So, and I'll just quickly run through the work because of time. I know that we've been on for quite some hours now. So I'll be presenting on the use of AI in interrogations, risk and coercion and force confessions. Well, the thing is that, as we are all aware, that the integration of AI in criminal interrogations is an area that has come to stay. And of course, we have various AI powered tools, that are being used for this purpose. We have tools such as the facial recognition, we have voice trace analysis, and various other we have emotion recognition software, and various other tools. Interrogations, risk of coercion and false confessions. And the paper is in collaboration with my colleague, Tobiloba Awotoye. And okay, like I said initially, I said that AI has come to stay. It has been integrated in our criminal justice system and it has come to stay. And there's nothing we can do about it. And I said that we have various tools, different techniques, that are used for this purpose when it comes to integrating AI in criminal interrogations. And I gave some examples of these tools. I said they include emotion recognition software. We have voice stress analysis. We have facial recognition, and some other tools that are adequately that are used, for this purpose. And they are used to detect deception. They are used to analyze behavioral cues. They are also used to streamline interrogations and some other purposes. But then there is an issue. The reliability of these techniques are being contested. You start wondering, are they actually, these AI tools, AI techniques, models, are they actually reliable? Can we rely on them? And reason is because they tend to raise concerns when it comes to issue of voluntariness, when it comes to issue of reliability, when it comes to issue of procedural safeguards as well. And it is so those are like some of the major reasons why they are being contested. Like, okay, how reliable are they? How efficient are they? How effective are they when it comes to criminal interrogations? So this paper, well, would consider some of the risks associated with these AI tools, techniques that are being used for interrogations. It will also consider by looking at its effects on coercion and forced confessions. And we also look at some international and domestic instruments, for this purpose, relevant to this purpose. And when we now talk about the international frameworks, the international levels that are available for this purpose, we have. I'll just run through them for want of time. I will start by saying that there are quite a number of um, conventions, treaties, laws, that have been put in place, to govern interrogations, For example, we have the we have the this ICCPR, Article 14.3 of the ICCPR, which subsection Article 14.3 of the ICCPR, which provides for the rights of against self-incrimination when it comes to confessing and giving confessing or even giving testimony as to testifying against as to a crime that has been committed when you're about to give your testimony or give your evidence. What it provides is that defendant, should not be compelled to, to testify against himself, to make statements or give evidence, that would incriminate him. So that is it for the ICCPR. Then we also have there is also Article 6 of the ECHR2, European Convention on Human Rights as well, which also guarantees the right to a fair trial, meaning which also provides that confession should not be obtained, through coercive means. Because when confessions are obtained through coercive means, they of course they violate fair trial rights. And then the paper also considered some jurisdictions like the US, the UK, and Nigeria, but I won't also go into full detail. And it also looked at some. I'm sorry that slides my slides are not available, but I promise to get them across to the organizers, and the slides will be shared. I will do that before the close of work today. I'm very sorry for that. So we have in England, for example, there is this act known as PACE, though it was enacted some years back, Police and Criminal Evidence Act, which also has its own provisions that guides against coercion and getting people to compelling defendants to testify against themselves. And also there are a number of cases that have been, looked at in England that have been considered where the court has ruled that actually this issue of coercion, issue of giving pressurizing or forcing defendants to confess crimes against themselves, has been held to be they've kind of jeopardized voluntariness of confessions. For example, there's this popular case, though it's an old case, the Birmingham Six case, where some it has to do with the issue of coerced confession as well, and where and what the court did at the end of the day was that the court ruled that the way by which the confession of the defendants was gotten kind of led to false confessions, made them to confess falsely to a crime that they did not commit. Then there is also this other case too, O'Brien versus Chief Constable of South Wales, a 2005 case in the United Kingdom as well, where I think some years before then, maybe in the 80s, the defendant was convicted of murder, based on the and on another on his co-defendant's confession, which of course later was alleged to have been coerced by the police, but later at the end of the day, well, the matter got resolved. Then but one thing about the UK is that even though they have rules guiding against coercion or forced confessions and stuff like that, they do not also have specific provisions as regards AI when it comes to making confessional statements using AI tools. There are no specific laws, directly provided, for that purpose. Then also briefly looking at the United States too. Of course, they have their own sections of law too that guides against self-incrimination. For example, the Amendment, the Sixth Amendment that ensures right to counsel, the Fifth Amendment that guides against self-incrimination. All these principles. There's this popular case too. I'm sure a number of us will know it's the Miranda case too versus Arizona. So all these principles and cases, they are just been, they have been put in place to protect against coerced confessions. But there is no how we all know that because the AI has come to stay, new problems, new issues, will be introduced. So I won't go to details. I have some other cases, that are relevant to that of the United States, like the Brown versus Mississippi case, where the court ruled against confession through physical torture. There is this, and even the Miranda case too, where the court ruled that the suspects must be informed of their rights, and that includes right to remain silent and right to an attorney, before custodial interrogation. And some other cases, there is this also the side case and other cases. Then now coming to our Nigerian legal protections against coerced confession. Under the Nigerian law, yes, we have various different um, provisions of law, that have been enacted to protect. We have
Dr. Yewande, you can hear me, you can
individuals. It protects persons from being compelled to confess guilt, and also we have Section 2011 too, which prohibits admissibility of
Dr. Yewande,
confessions. Yes.
you have 3 more minutes now.
Oh, okay. So let me just rush it. Okay. So we have these provisions provided for under the 1999 Constitution, the Evidence Act also has provisions, for this. There is also the ACJA too, that talks about voluntariness and video recording under the ACJA. That's also available. So I will skip some of that. Okay, let me just quickly go to the challenges. You know that challenges in AI interrogation. Some of the challenges include risk of bias. That's a challenge when it comes to AI interrogations. There's risk of bias. There is there may be lack of transparency, and accountability, especially because of this issue of algorithmic bias too, that is involved in it. And then there is also this thing referred to as black box that many of these AI models use. They function as black box. That means they are not transparent. At the end of the day, defendants who even cannot even contest. They can't come out to contest the conclusions of the AI derived matters or statements. They can't contest it. They find it difficult to contest. Then there's also the problem of informed consent and autonomy. Because suspects that are subjected to AI assisted interrogations, at times they might not even fully comprehend the nature and the extent that AI tool we have on them. Then also lack of emotional intelligence is there. Unlike human interrogations, you know, AI lacks the ability to access contextual images, and this can lead to misinterpretation. Then also the issue of also because AI interrogations also require collecting and analyzing vast amounts of data. This will also, which are of course personal data. This will also have, it will kind of raise concern when it comes to misuse and surveillance can affect that. And then so the work also makes some recommendations to guide against these challenges or to minimize the challenges that can be caused by the AI tools that can be used for criminal interrogations. And part of the recommendations, I will just mention maybe three or four of them, is that our legislators should introduce regulations that will explicitly address AI in criminal investigations. We don't have, adequate legislations addressing such area. Then also, all our interrogation systems should be subject to rigorous oversight, that is human oversight. Yeah, human beings also make errors, but then AI too, they have their own bias and but then there should be human beings should still be made to oversee them. Then also there should be enough public awareness and training. For example, law enforcement officers, legal practitioners, all these people should, there should be constant training on the issue of ethical implication and legal implication of AI interrogations and its effects on justice system. Then there should also be transparency, transparency requirements. The AI developers should be made to disclose every necessary data, methodologies that they've used to generate the algorithms that are being used for the AI so as to ensure accountability. Then also there should be judicial and policy reforms. Our courts to need to establish legal precedents, to guide to to guide against unfairness, to promote fairness and also reliability standards. Then also we also need our court should also be ready to critically evaluate AI obtained confessions. They should just not overlook it and feel like, oh, AI, I don't understand it, and how is this really? But no, they should be ready to. So that also falls under public awareness and training. So it's not just limited to law enforcement. It's not just limited
Your time is up, ma'am.
for the opportunity and for listening.
Do you mind concluding?
Well, I thought
Okay.
you said my phone was also that. So, okay. So in conclusion, what I would say is that the integration of AI is not that AI has come to take over responsibilities or works of human beings. But then, when human work together with AI, like it will kind of make it, better, to make, and it will also strengthen our criminal justice and make it better. So I would want to say that the integration of AI into interrogation practices have to be carefully evaluated, just to avoid infringing on people's or especially suspects and defendants' um, constitutional rights, and that AI tools should be designed and implemented in manners that will prevent coercion, that will prevent forced confession, that would respect voluntariness of confession, and that will also uphold the principle of justice. Thank you very much.